Hi everyone, my name is Brandon Villawan. My tryout number is 104. Today I'll be showing you how to do a basic boxing stance along with the jab cross hook combo. In regards to my experience, I wrestled for 3 years. In high school, I did private boxing lessons throughout elementary school to high school, and I was part of the boxing team last semester. Now, whenever I'm boxing with a partner or an opponent, I like to imagine a line that comes out of them. Usually it's imaginary, but for this video, I put a blue line. Now, with this line, what I like to do is I like to put this part of my lead foot onto the tape and then the heel of my back foot onto the tape as well. And I would like to put my feet relatively 45 at a 45-degree angle, bend my legs a little bit. Now, I do these three things just to ensure I have a good sense of balance. Wherever I move, I feel like I'm always maintaining a good sense of stability. So in the case I put my legs straight and have the heels on the tape, I feel a little bit uncomfortable, and if I were to be pushed forward or backwards, I feel like I'm about to fall. Okay, now we're going to be focusing on the upper half of the stance. The reason why I position my feet the way that they are is because I don't want to be boxed up. When you're boxed up, you're leaving more space or more area for your opponent to hit you. As to compared to when you're in proper stance, there's less area. When your lead shoulder is pointing at your opponent, it's really hard to get a proper punch in. And along with that, as I mentioned earlier, I want my legs to be bent. I don't want to stand completely as high as I can. This provides a good sense of stability. And along with that, I don't want my chin too high, because if I were boxing and I step forward and my chin's up here, it's just a perfect place for my opponent to hit me with an uppercut / jab. So what I want to do is I want my chin to be down here, almost as if it's touching my chest. And then another thing I want to add upon is where my arms are. A common mistake is people overemphasize protecting the face. As a result, this leaves the entire side of your body vulnerable for hooks. And so what you want to do is put your elbows down. But that's also another issue that people make, is when they emphasize putting their elbows down, they also put their hands down, leaving their face completely wide open for their opponent. So when you're in stance, what you want to do is you want to knee down, have your feet in proper position, don't box up, keep your chin low, and put your hands up, elbows down, like this. Okay, so the first punch I'll be teaching is the jab. So for demonstration, it should look something like this. When you're throwing the jab, your thumb, when you're in stance, is upwards. And when you throw that punch, your hand should rotate to where your thumb gets to the side. So like this. And when you're punching, you don't want to necessarily extend as far as you can, because you want to leave a slight bend to your elbow so you can avoid injury / hyper extension. And when I'm throwing that jab, I'm making sure that I keep my other hand in mind. So what I'm going to do when I'm jabbing is I'm going to keep my hand up and elbow down, just so I know that my opponent can't throw a counter punch. Along with that, I know last semester we learned about moving our head to the side or out of the line whenever we throw the jab. Me personally, whenever I throw a jab, I like to step to the right, just so I get out of my opponent's view, just like this. Really with the jab, you can move anywhere. You can move to the left, to the right, backwards and forwards. But when it comes to jabbing and stepping forward, I think that's where a lot of people make mistakes, especially when their opponent is so far. Because if, say for example, I'm all the way back here and I try to throw a jab, my lead foot is just fully extended forward. I'm trying to reach my opponent, and it's not necessarily guaranteed I'm going to hit him. And I'm just completely unstable. If someone were to push me right now from the side, I would completely fall over. So it's always good to keep in mind your stance. But in general, a jab is generally used to get a sense of distance, to figure out if you're too far or too close. It's also used in a lot of combinations as a starter. So for example, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2. And it's also good just to disrupt your opponent. Let's say they're in the middle of a combination. Just throwing a jab like this can easily mess up their flow. Okay, so the next punch I'll be showing is the cross / power punch, aka 2. So it's usually followed by the jab. So it go like 1, 2, and now similar to the jab, whenever you're throwing it, your arm should rotate. So thumb up, thumb sideways, just like that. Now, since you're throwing with your dominant hand, it's naturally stronger, but not only because it's your dominant hand, because when you're throwing that too, your entire body should be rotating with you, just like that. And it's not just your upper body that's doing the work, it's also your feet. You know, when I'm throwing that too, my back foot should rotate along with it, just like that. Now, the purpose behind the two is usually to break an opponent's defense whenever they have their hands up. And along with that, it's also to provide points at competitions. If you were to hit an opponent with a two, it usually gives you a lot of points. Okay, the last punch I'll be showing today is the lead hook. So it should look something along the lines like this. Now, this is perfect to follow up with the second punch. So it should look something along the lines like this. When you're throwing the lead hook, you're rotating your entire body, just like the cross. And instead of your back foot rotating, it's your front foot.